Yes.
And
I don't know if I need someone to share
and
screen or not, but
we are go.
What the buck is up, every pony?
hello.
Hello.
Daddy, chill.
So,
What?
last time, three of you went off and followed the last born to their little secret clubhouse. Milkfist will stay behind under fear of exploding heart. And you were told where this is sort of an area where they could come and go where City can't see you. And they also mentioned inside of their little hideout, no signals can get in or out. So you're kind of like a little bit protected there. You have found some interesting equipment. They are tapped into some of the security feeds down there. And probably the biggest thing that is the most interest is the dimensional. Well, you call it a teleporter. They would call it the dimensional slide. What will shift you into Everglow. It has a long recharge time. Only one person can go, and you can't take anything with you other than yourself.
Yeah. Alexandrite might be looking at it like a little bit longingly, but he is going to, turn away after a bit.
The device itself is, if you remember, it kind of looks like it's been put together by lots of different parts. It's not like it's like the rest of the city where it's nicely, finely crafted. Every piece seems to slot together perfectly. It's almost like somebody's taken lots of different pieces and put them together over time and just kind of made it work.
Yeah, it's a hodgepodge, bit of a mess.
Kind of thing. But it's not like sparking or anything like that, but it's definitely not neat and tidy. He was going over. He told you a little bit about his work. He's told you a little bit about the person who's made it. He was the oldest. He when he was no longer considered a child, he worked in the manufactorium, and that was how he was able to get the pieces to build it over time slowly. And he was very clever and was able to put together all of this sort of stuff for them. And if it wasn't for him, he wouldn't have been able. They wouldn't have this little clubhouse or know where they could go and that sort of thing.
Yeah, he's the Peter Pan to the Lost Boys.
Yeah,
in a sense. But that's as much as a sort of a recap on that. You guys are still in their clubhouse. They are keeping an eye on the time, so it's clear there's obviously a window for them to operate in. As they are conscious of the time, and every so often, they are checking things.
So, Bird is go. What was the name of the one that we're all talking to? I'm sorry, the leader.
So, well, the non-confirmed leader, at least.
Yeah.
The one that dragged us along to it.
Yes.
Yeah. I did give you his name. Where is his name?
Would it be in the chat box in Foundry?
Most likely.
Yeah.
I know we make a habit of.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything.
Oh no, that's him.
The nice thing about using my phone is I can just, have it on my chest and lay down.
All right, let me grab my references. Where would it be? I have to go back to me hard copy.
Doodle-doo.
I actually will give you the name of all of the ruminants you're with. Obviously, there's a few of them.
I know there's one doe and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so where is my names for these guys? Here we go. Okay, yeah, so so they stay alright. No, that was his last name, and no, that was that one. Alright, so the doe was called a sweet sweet bush. The stag you've been talking to mostly. Did I really do that?
Yeah, sweet bush. That's a rather provocative name for.
Yeah, I know.
That was my
not
thoughts
to,
exactly. I'm like, should I make that joke? I'm tempted to make the joke.
I'm glad I'm
What-
not the only one.
What joke?
Sweet bush.
Yeah. Bush is
So yeah, in English, bush can refer to pubic hair. So to say she has a sweet bush implies she has a sweet vagina.
mhm.
Okay.
This is a family
You-
show. We don't have those kinds of thoughts here.
Yeah.
This is a family campaign. What are we talking about?
I'll tell you right now, that makes zero sense.
Oh, that was it. There you go. So the main person you've been talking to was Bramble. He's referred to himself as.
Okay, Bramble.
Yeah, Bramble. The smallest, the youngest looking one is called Small Fort. And,
Small fort.
yeah, small.
Small fort. Okay, now that one's more.
Fort, as in like the fort you're thinking.
Oh, thought.
Right.
Oh, okay, I
Thought,
thought
okay.
you said.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
The other one's called Spanner Plan.
Banner plan. Okay.
Spanner plan.
I like that name. That's a badass sounding name.
Not so badass as when actually like spanner is like an Aussie slang for something inappropriate.
Oh,
What is-
so, okay. Spanner's
Oh.
your sweet bush. I see.
What is it?
No.
I'm not- Hold on,
No. It means something different. You don't want to know.
What are you about to say,
Actually, I
Chris?
do want to know. I'm not familiar with.
Oh.
What does spanner mean?
You don't want to. I don't want to say it because it offended Steel last time. So no, I'm not gonna say it.
I'm
Okay,
pretty sure Spanner would refer to somebody who's not very intelligent.
Okay.
Oh, all right. Yeah, that I could see that.
Mm-hmm. I think we use the same term, not as common, but you might say to somebody, "Oh, you're a right spanner," type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, a new insult to throw around at work.
And you've got two others who are not with you, and they are. He would have said they're twins. One is called One Half, and the other one's called Second Half.
That's an adorable name.
Yeah.
So those are their motley crew. There was more of them, but that's who's currently part of their group.
Fair enough. uh, Burn sort of looks to Bramble for a moment, and character, I'm trying so hard. I'm debating on if I should, sow the seed of like curiosity in him or not. But it's like, oh man, I could screw this up so badly.
Well, you never know until you try.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He gives Bramble a bit of a smile. He says, "Well, maybe your friend liked it. I mean, aren't you curious about what Everglow is like?"
He goes, I was never as adventurous and and determined to go back to the material plane as he was. I mean, I've kept everything here going, but I don't know. Going out there without my friends and family, I don't think I would want to do that.
What if there was a way we could bring your friends and family?
Mm-hmm.
He shakes his head. Oh, that wouldn't be possible.
But what if
Well,
it were?
Well, I don't think anyone would want to leave either.
Do we know that for sure? If one person wanted to leave, then there might be others.
I mean, the only ones that I've known who have had any inkling to leave were, well, members of our little group. Anyone else has never shown any inkling, because if they did, I mean, they probably could make something, he gestures to the machine like that, but far better.
Maybe, but they've also never had, he gestures to the room, this place, anything away from prying eyes. Yeah, we talked about leaving. Our, status went to, 10 or nearby.
Well, I mean, this is only here because of Stouthorn, and he knew quite in quite detail how this place worked, and that was the only reason why we were able to have it.
By the way, how did you, send those messages to us without the assistant knowing about them?
Oh, no, it's a little small robot, and it transmits at just the right sort of frequency where you can still hear it, but it's just, but the computer just picks it up as background static. It technically wasn't talking. It was basically transmitting the signal to your to the translator, which was then helping your mind, translate it.
Interesting. How many of those little robots do you have?
Only a few. I mean, it's how we kind of talk to each other.
Okay.
Sounds useful.
Alexandra is kind of looking like he's the hamster in his head is turning a bit.
He goes over to the counter and picks one up and holds it out in his hoof, and it's basically looks like a round sphere. It's got like a small antenna out of it. It's not the most looking one. It definitely looks fairly old. Maybe a little bit of bumps in here and what have you. But other than that, it just looks like a round bit of I don't know, strange equipment.
Yeah, I'm picturing that new robot from the sequel series of Star Wars. What was it?
Oh.
Yeah,
ED.
B8.
BB
BB.
something, whatever. Well,
Yeah.
think of that, except remove its head and take some pieces off.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it's nowhere near as nice and colourful. It's like stripped back
So
to its metal.
It's not a soccer ball. In fact, it's one of those fushigi balls. Got it.
I mean, if one of you want to keep this on you, just don't walk through any of the arches.
Alexandrite will nod a bit. All right. I think this will be quite useful.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, it could be. Thank you, Bramble. You all have certainly enlightened us a fair bit.
Well, I mean, you're more than welcome to come back here when it's safe to do so.
Mhm.
We normally send a signal to each other when we can meet up. It will just be like a single word to your PDA.
He sort of blinks and looks to Bramble, kind of confused. He says, when we were brought here, technically when we entered the ethereal plane, we we were met by two of the ships with guards on them. They had some strange looking weaponry. Do you know anything about that?
I wouldn't know too much about the weaponry, I'm afraid. That's something just that the automatons sort of carry.
I see.
Do you know what those 3 circles meant on it?
3 circles? He says.
That's what Metal saw when she opened the thingy, right?
Oh, that was the cannons.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cannon.
Oh, right.
I think Alexandrite saw that, so he could probably just kind of draw it in the ground.
Yeah.
Oh, he turns around and says to you, that basically it's a symbol. It basically means access denied.
Yeah.
That's what it meant.
Yeah, because you were pressing the control panel, weren't you?
Yeah. I was just actually fidgeting with it. It's like, okay, what works, what doesn't.
Access denied. Access denied.
That was funny.
You didn't say the magic word.
I mean, he goes, there's a little bit more to it than that, but I mean, you're still getting used to everything, so it's probably the best way to look at it.
On her ship, when shortly before we got here, it became, well, he motions to the room around them. It became much like this, very advanced, and when we looked in the barrels of the cannons, it didn't look like they had any ammunition at all. There was just how would you describe Alexandrite?
Out of character, I don't know what you're referring to.
It was the cannons on our ship.
Yeah, but did they not look like they had things in it? I couldn't remember really.
Metu would actually describe it as a very long long empty tube.
I mean, I don't really know too much about weaponry, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
It's not something that we really, well, discuss or talk about. I mean, there are a few who know how they're, well, have the access to have them made at the manufactorium, but that's strictly controlled. So I couldn't really say, and it's not something taught in school. But I mean, I would have thought it'd be some form of energy that shoots out of it. Probably elemental, if I had a guess.
So, by this point, Burned is just Alexandrite and Metal Banana can see the dead hamster that was in his brain is moving again.
Oh,
Thank you.
you said these pad things can do magic, right?
What you're gonna have to sort of elaborate on that one, I'm afraid.
Oh,
He said it works with magic.
Yeah. Well, what your understanding of magic is.
well, back home there's a spell that allows someone to see memories or like images in someone's head. Could these things do something like that?
They can't see into your head, but if you've captured the memory utilizing it, then you can view the captured memory from the event, but you have to capture it at that moment in time.
Okay, how would one do that?
He asks you to show you his your PDA, and he instructs you how to take pictures and videos.
Okay.
Oh God. Oh,
Fascinating.
And he basically shows you kind of you need to pop it up somewhere if you want to do it yourself and record. Obviously, be careful what you say, and don't mention anything about this place.
Of course.
I just imagine, and when we're like using it with just like that old person that's like very close to the screen. Like, how'd this work?
Yeah.
Hello.
You actually do find it difficult to use the device with your hooves. You actually find you kind of have to use the the soft part of things rather than your whole hoof, and you end up in some times when you got to push a very smaller section, you kind of have to boop it with your nose more than anything.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know when you have those big thumbs and using a tiny phone. Like,
yeah.
Relatable. Relatable.
yeah.
Oh, big thumbs. You mean like me?
Yeah.
You should like. You should like see my dad. He has like fucking Wreck-It Ralph type of thumbs.
Sweet calls out, "Oh, we probably should get going soon. City's maintenance cycle's almost over."
Burned will give a nod and look to Metal and Alexandra and say, "Well, let's get going. This has certainly been enlightening."
Yes, thank you very much for your help, and
That's all right. I mean, if you guys head off, I'm going to wait here. I need to wait until the maintenance cycle's over because obviously I arrived a little bit later, and City saw me walk over here. But I've already explained to City why I come here. But as long as it doesn't have any records of when you walked over here, it's fine.
Thank you.
what should we say if the city has captured us walking here?
It shouldn't do. You came during its first maintenance cycle, and it's now in the process of its second one. And as long as you don't stand here talking too long, you'll be fine.
All right.
Okay.
Let's get going
Good to
then.
know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'll send you a message when we can meet up again.
All right.
Of course, thank you.
Understood.
And then yeah, I guess we'll head off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You head back to your dorm rooms, I assume.
Yep. And once again, Metal's gonna do her homework and do extra homework.
I think Bernd will try to be a good student. Keyword being try. He doesn't he doesn't get the mathematics that they're using, like mainly the way that they're teaching it.
Yeah.
But he's trying to wrap his what little brain he has around it.
Alexandrite will show Katerina how to record a video and such, and
He'll probably play with it, but then when he sees what he looks like, he will kind of recoil from it.
oh,
Oh God.
poor boy.
Oh, that's what I look like. Ah.
So yeah, this is my thought. The main thing we need to worry about is getting Katerina the hell out of here.
Mhm. No, yeah, that's the only thing keeping Alexandrite here. Basically, is his promise to Katerina and such. Like,
I mean, technically we have a way to get him out.
Yeah, but I don't think it's wise to send undead in like the middle of nowhere, because that
Yeah.
teleporter could teleport him anywhere.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it can only bring one person, and
Yeah.
Alexandrite promised
Yeah.
to protect him. So
No, I know. That's kind of where my thought is as well. It's like we're damned if we do and we're damned if we don't.
Yeah, and I believe most people in Everglow would have a kill on sight for undead.
Most people have a
Yeah.
run away screaming mentality. Most
Yeah.
adventurers will have a kill on sight thing.
But yeah, other than that, I think Alexandrite will basically have a kind of video journal, like just kind of telling his stories and such.
No, fair enough. So
When I was a wee little lad.
So obviously, for the next little bit, it's going to be a bit repetitive. You know, you get up, you go to school, you come back, do homework, you rest, go to sleep. Sort of the main chance for you guys to do anything or plan or learn additional things would be during obviously the school hours. Are there any particular bits of information you were trying to learn other than the lessons they're teaching you, or any additional facts, or try and learn any other things that are not being taught or mentioned?
Yeah, Alexandrite's probably going to try to learn more about the the tablet, like the ins and outs of it, and like such like that. It's the only tool. It's the only weapon he has at the moment, so he needs to learn how to use it.
It's the only weapon we have at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm torn between like going with either the historical aspect from like the teacher's points of view, or like trying to learn about their military history back on Everglow. But it's like, I might as well go for like the regular history aspect. It always helps to know a little bit about what happened in the past.
Oh, and Alexander will teach Milk Thistle about the recording function of the tablet as well.
That would be very helpful.
Yeah, Meta would like to know as much on how the technology works as best as she can. Like basically, basically she's learning computer science.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be part of your lessons anyway, but they're kind of very much starting at the beginning first. If the teacher will tell you you need to learn to walk before you can run, and you will learn more when you are ready to advance to the more difficult steps.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just like, man, Alexandra does not vibe well in this world.
Yeah, no, I don't think any of us vibe well on this world. You know what? Brenda's gonna show Wishful Pin how to use the video and picture functions to be able to capture, their happy moments and whatnot. Because that is a very valid idea that you put out there, Dustin.
Thank you.
Thank you for actually reminding me about that.
All of you do go to the same class, so you're kind of obviously all together. So you can kind of somewhat plan together what you want to ask, and if there's a particular subject you get the teacher talking about, you can listen and then chime in for additional questions. So feel free to ask or poke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From what I understand, we're still learning math and such. Like.
Oh yeah, but you will get an opportunity to between like certain subjects where you can ask questions and what have you. It's not going to be all just doing the boring stuff.
Yeah, I mean, well, technically a subject is a boring subject, but
So basically, this is your chance to learn some of that, like history and what have you. But you need to ask the teacher the question, and they respond based on how you ask the question.
Yeah, I guess Alexandra will ask. Since this place is all about preservation, is there any self-defense courses?
Oh, the city will take care of any defenses, any self-defense that is required. Should anything happen, you will see lights that will guide you to a safe location where you can wait out anything that might be going on, and the city's defenses will take care of the rest.
Are the city's defenses done strictly through the robots that have been built, or are some of the ruminants trained to defend the citizens as well?
All ruminant life is precious, so no one would be put at risk to defend the city. It is the city's defences and the automatons that you have seen, yes. But not to worry, the city has never suffered any sort of attack.
When we were captured and brought to the city, there was a single ruminant who was surrounded by automatons on multiple ships. Was he considered a defender or a commander of the automatons?
Oh, well, I suppose you would have met him then, yes. Well, you'll be looking at one of our very few military individuals. He, yes, commands the automatons and can operate them directly or remotely if required.
So there is a military.
Well, yes, but we don't talk about it directly.
Well, many of us are trained in the physicalities of battle, so if we were to be good citizens and want to defend the city, wouldn't it be best for us to train and utilize our skills in that way?
No, it might be possible in future that you are given the privilege to protect the citizens here, but it is a very unique position and requires a high level of trust from city. So perhaps if you earn that trust, then you might be given a position of sorts.
How many ruminants are currently defending the city?
Well, we're all defending the city, as we're all operating within it to keep it working and active. And without all of us working together, then, well, the city would be in danger.
I mean, specifically those who work with the automatons to protect against potential threats, because you always have to be ready.
I couldn't say the exact number, as, well, that isn't put forward, but I'm sure there's a few of them.
So the city is kind of like a beehive.
I suppose you could see it as that way. We're all the busy workers keeping it safe, and I'm guessing you're thinking the AI, the city's AI city, as the Queen.
So does the AI actually rule over the city?
No, it looks after us and helps protect the city. It also obviously monitors things and ensures that things are run in a timely fashion.
Bernd is going to look to the the instructor. He's good, very very polite and pleasant tone. He's gonna ask him, "What do you know by chance anything about what happened before all the ruminant came here? Like, can you recall any of the history prior, or not prior, but before that?"
Well, I can. Many of the ruminant here in the city was alive back then. There's only a few individuals which he points to. I believe. Well, yeah, most of them will be in the classroom with you, to be honest. And points to obviously the young ruminant here who've been helping you. Wow. Other than our youngest members who might not remember it, everybody else here was around when the before the city entered this place.
What did you do to defend yourself before you came here?
Well, traditionally, ruminant would often run and hide from such scary predators and what have you. But over time, we did develop ways of protecting ourselves.
What did you how did you all feel about the other sentient and more friendly beings back in Everglow?
Well, it probably was very different when we were there. There wasn't many sentient creatures. We had the big folk, as they were referred to, and you also had the stout folk. Those were the two sentient ones.
The stout folk. Are they dwarves?
I believe that's what they referred to themselves. Yes.
And I take it the big folk are humans?
No, I believe they referred to themselves as. He presses a few things on his little pad. Ah, yes, elves.
Elves. Okay. We've not had chances to meet elves, but we have met dwarves.
Mm-hmm.
The elves were far more common back then.
The dwarves were fairly pleasant when we went and met them. They were very welcoming, I'd say, right, Alexandrite? He sort of looks to him.
Fairly welcoming, very proud race.
They tend to keep themselves to themselves in their little underground cities.
Mm-hmm.
Out of character, Milk Thistle, do you want to ask anything? I'm kind of drawing a blank here.
Actually, I think I have something. if there were more races, like us back when you were around, do you think we could be allies, or could have been?
He looks at you a bit odd. What do you mean? If I mean there wasn't, so I that line of thinking is well unproductive.
Well, I mean, there is now.
We try to make friends where we can.
Still is an unproductive line of thought, given that we are here and they are there. I mean, it is of little consequence.
But we, Alexandra gestures to themselves, came here. So if others like us come here, would they be welcomed?
Well, I guess so, if you were welcomed. Though, though I'm guessing you were allowed here for whatever reason. If circumstances are different, I suppose things could be different. It all depends on how the city sees the arrival of outsiders.
Alexandra will nod a bit.
Byrne will nod as well. Out of character, I'm trying to think, is there anything else we should ask? Because, like, I feel like there's something that we're just kind of glossing over here.
Yeah.
I mean,
The problem is the real questions I want to ask. It's like, we can't really be obvious about things, so
Yeah,
we can't
Yeah.
have
no,
us
definitely.
skirt around it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Oh man, I want to ask them about their religious beliefs, but I'm just like, no, that would be too obvious as well.
I mean, I would say you're shooting yourself in the foot if you don't ask those sort of questions if you're afraid
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
Milk.
Hmm?
Is it okay if Milkfist will ask those questions?
If you want
Go
to,
for
yeah.
it.
Sure.
Yeah, go for it.
Teacher,
Yes.
we come from the material plane where a lot of your relics still existed, and we've learned some of your culture, and recently since our arrival, why you had to leave it behind. Um, do you still teach the heritage of the gods that the ruminants used to worship? Just so you know where you came from.
Well, they are mentioned, yes, but not in. They're not referred to as gods. They are. They are entities that have powers and abilities that are fairly different to our own. But well, we see them more as well. You'll probably. Well, in your tongue, I believe it's referred to as probably a parasite.
Really?
Well,
Now, just to make sure I understand, a parasite is an organism that takes away something of its host in order to survive without giving anything back.
you're quite right.
Is that what you mean?
Yes, you could survive quite easily without your gods, but your gods wouldn't survive without you.
I mean no disrespect, but may I have your permission to offer a correction on that?
I mean, you can attempt, but
We encountered one of your gods
you
on the
can.
material plane.
They do exist, or at least did to some degree.
I believe her name is Hind of Winter. She still very much has a powerful enough presence to be able to speak to those on the material plane.
Well, Deities, well, gods. Once you understand the workings of them and their needs and requirements and how they behave within the material plane and their own planes, was there for any deity to, or sorry, any, yeah, we were going to use the word deity rather than gods, with any deity to have any impact upon the material plane, there needs to be a conduit for wherever their plane is to this one. Everglow is a weird planet, as its membranes between the realms are thinner than what could take place, and many realms bleed through. Perhaps you were probably met her at one of these conduits, as that area has a way of keeping them in a relatively solid state, rather than returning to the core elements that make them up.
In our plane, we have a more symbiotic.
How so? Because the way we see it is, yes, they provide you with magic and stuff, but that's purely to hold you back and keep you from, well, advancing, because you rely on them to instead of finding alternative methods. One of the probably most common ones is your healing medicine and what have you. You probably rely on magic to heal quite nasty injuries or diseases, rather than developing the tools to study the bacteria under microscopes, developing vaccines and even cures to some of the more nasty things. Why would you do that if all you could do is pop it away with magic from a divine being?
Which you, sorry, you go ahead.
I want to hear what Alexandra says first.
Yeah. All right. Well, can your
what?
he kind of gestures to his ear.
I think you broke up.
Yeah.
Alex.
Can they sorry. Can your medicines and technologies regrow limbs?
Yes, over time.
Well, for us, it's a rare thing, but it's a bit more instantaneous. Perhaps there's a way that both can coexist.
Yes, in many ways, magic and material methods exist side by side. For someone to have divine power from a deity can, strengthen his body, his mind, his weapons, and his armor. But, it still takes a forge and, knowledge of metallurgy in order to craft those weapons to be used to begin with. And you mentioned medicine. To have such a strong connection with a deity in order to use that magic to heal is actually a very rare occurrence. It's common among us because we are, adventurers. We are separated from the normal beings of Everglow. But for, the average individual who does not have that strong connection, only faith with the deity, they still have to go to apothecaries, mix potions, find natural remedies. So it does exist side by side.
And that's good to hear. But you will find if you removed your the magic, you would probably develop a lot quicker as a culture, rather than the handicap it comes. But also, they require you to worship them. If you did not, they would not have any power upon the material plane. as they need you to wage their battles in their realms, as your faith powers them or gives them energy, and when you do pass on, they your souls do go to them in a certain sense, and while your souls are in their possession, it powers them onwards. Obviously,
Correct.
some creatures do look after the souls that pass on, but there are those more fouler creatures that use souls as currency.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the whole reason all of you are, he gestures to the area like here, was because of one of the your gods?
He goes, that goes to show that no one race is fallible. Mistakes were made, and it will not be made again. And that is why we're here, and we will not interfere with such things to cause such a calamity again.
But if the danger was no longer there, you would have no reason to be here, correct?
No. I would say this is still the place that we should be, cut off from any potential outside danger, where we can quite happily live and develop our sciences as we wish.
But danger is required to grow and evolve. Won't you be stagnant if you don't have anything to need to protect yourself from?
No. Things will still move ahead. Maybe not as quickly as it would do if there was a danger at your doorstep. But we can go at a more slow and leisurely pace for ourselves. And there's no need to rush anymore, or hurry to the end goal.
So, what is the end goal for you? Why build more if you've already have a utopia?
Well, at the moment, nothing new needs to be built.
So, what does everyone work for?
We work to maintain the city and to keep this place safe. There is some things that are still progressed with music and art, as well as whatever else other people do in their leisure time, and there is still various aspects of theoretical science that still is left to discover.
And what would happen if you discovered those?
Well, once they're discovered, then I'm sure that would open up new avenues to begin work again.
Yeah, he'll kind of just give a little nod to that. It feels like he's going to like kind of talk around in circles at this point.
I mean, out of character, you made some pretty good points.
Mm-hmm.
Teacher, is this classroom a place where ideas can be explored and expanded upon respectfully, or are we expected to simply listen and learn from you?
I mean, you are expected to listen and learn, but you are allowed to ask questions and explore possibilities in a safe environment. If we start travelling down any dangerous paths, I will be ensured to redirect us back onto a safe route.
Very well. In the natural world, separated from the structures of society, religion, and science, when nature exists on its own, nature grows and exists to overcome adversity. And while I don't have a mind for science, I certainly can look at nature and see that it must constantly overcome struggles and hardships in order to grow stronger. In many ways, religion, faith in a deity, especially one who is directly connected to their deity to, access that source of power, the deity commands that we go through hardships in order to grow stronger. If we were to remain a peaceful life cloistered inside of a temple, we could certainly, study and learn from those who have overcome that adversity. But without that who's on experience, how can we really apply what we've learned? In many ways, by separating your society from every adversity, you may have grown technologically, but how have you grown as a culture? When there is faith, there is structure. And yes, a deity does command you how to live your life, but it is a mutual transaction. When someone of faith gives themselves over to that deity, they're rewarded for it in the next life. When the spirit and the soul is taken to that deity's realm, the deity can then use them as they see fit, either by letting them continue to serve within their realm or through reincarnation so that they can live their life again. By separating yourselves from that cycle, as Alexandra has pointed out, you unfortunately have become very stagnant. What advances have really been made culturally here?
Well, that's certainly a interesting question to put forward. I mean, I would say you do not need religion to evolve as a culture. We've certainly slowed down as we do not need to progress as fast as you might have done, given your probably shorter lifespans. Or, well, not shorter lifespans, that's probably a misterm. Your association with time. But if we develop at a slower rate, we still are developing at a rate that we are comfortable with. We may not have changed much since our arrival, but as long as the those here are happy and are enjoying what they wish to have, we do not need to burn brightly like the sun until we have burnt out all our fuel and are no more. We can travel along at a very slow and leisurely rate. Enjoy each moment as it is.
But how do you know if the people are happy?
Ah. A questionnaire is sent around every 1,000 cycle, and everyone is able to give feedback and suggestions on how they are feeling and what they would like. And the city correlates that and acts upon it accordingly.
But correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't your AI assistant always keeping watch? And wouldn't detractors have a higher danger rate?
I'm sure that some small things would increase danger aspect of things, but so far nothing has caused any major ripples, and the city has remained safe.
But at least to me, it feels like a dagger to your throat at all times. And your people, as you mentioned before, usually see danger and run away. So would they not say just do what would come easiest to please the people in charge?
no one sees city as a city with a dagger at their throat. Yes, it operates to ensure our survival, but no one has, since its activation, has done anything that requires any retraining or alterations. Everyone has continued on quite happily.
Alexandrite will give a small nod of.
You probably are being judged by the city more harshly than maybe the rest of us were when we first joined, being seen as a potential threat as the first outsiders. I would not take whatever threat levels you have been assigned to too much heart, as I'm quite certain they are probably an initial assessment and will come down over time once you've adjusted to things and found your stride within the city. I'm sure what you have to bring us will shake things up a little bit, as we are not used to working the way you do, but I'm sure you will find where you fit in with the rest of us.
Where do the ruminants obtain honor and tradition now?
Well, such concepts aren't as important as to us as they are probably to you, but each ruminant does their allotted time in their particular workplace, and obviously they feel some pride in the job well done. Obviously, there are those who excel within their positions and are obviously moved up within the workplace. But not all ruminant obviously seek to excel at everything they do. Some find quite happy doing the more simple, mundane, rudimentary things rather than the more complex workings out of recalibrations of the power generation system, or the rudimentary maintenance that is required for the many thousands of miles of wiring that goes out all across the city.
What about love and marriage? How does that work here?
Ruminants do not celebrate the marriage side of things as most creatures do. I'm now just got to quickly go over things because ruminants are a bit weird with their marriagey stuff.
Oh no, Dustin, you asked the question that made the brain of the GM have to reboot.
No, I just need to refresh myself on their whole system with marriage.
That is a book I need to pick up.
Marriage.
So, many ruminants see, love as a snare, where where is it? Many of them see love as a snare made of soft ropes, threats that could steal away your freedom in a way, tie you down to one individual. So most ruminant might enjoy time with an individual, but not many, I would say, will make any sort of commitment. Most will continue on their journey once they passed their partner, and or should a doe wish to have a child, then they obviously may seek out a mate for such a particular task to be done.
So there's no bonds or commitment to a single person or a family, even.
It is not required, no. Most most foals will stay with their mother until they are of age, and then they are allowed to have their own space. But he gestures towards Burnt and Wishful Pen. It is not a normal family unit such as those two. It is more. We are probably the odd ones out in regards to such things.
So I take it you've never felt love.
In my younger years, I definitely have had a small moment where you wish to be close to someone, but once the moments of need and want and lust have parted, then you move on, not to be held down in one place.
But don't you have longings of, you wish to be with this person?
He shakes his head. Not everyone, not all sentient creatures work the same way.
Alexander will give a small nod, a bit dejected at that.
Perhaps this is why we are so very different on our beliefs.
Perhaps so.
We do not hold commitment as strongly as you do, which is possible why you hold your deities so strong to your hearts and follow them so devoutly.
Perhaps. So I think that there's, both ways are good in their own ways.
But love among ruminants is not impossible. It does happen. There are some of those that have, I believe, in the city, but not many.
So you mentioned plays and such. What are they generally about, if not about trials or feelings of love?
You can still have trials and journeys and as well as tension and scarce and being scared in such things. I mean, obviously, the romance still plays a somewhat of a part in some things, but not a huge one. I suppose fear is more of a stronger thing that is played to, but also one's pride in their what they have been assigned, or I suppose in what you would call duty, as they stride forward to do their job or climb the ladder that has been put in front of them, or work to discover something that has yet to be discovered.
I see.
I mean, I'm myself is rediscovering the challenges of teaching someone who does not understand, as that has been something that has not happened in a long time, and it is proving most interesting.
So you're enjoying us as students.
Yes, it has proven an interesting challenge, and I'm dusting off some old techniques that I have not used in quite some time.
If may I ask, as I'm curious about how birthing works here, since two ruminants, it's rare for two ruminants to fall in love, but is if them having a child possible?
Yes, it is possible. Um, if they wish to, obviously, have a child, then they would need to go to the medical centre, and they will be given, they will be taken off birth control, and will be able to copulate. Though that's not happened. Well, I do not think you've met our most two youngest ruminant twins. Um, they were the last ones born here, and that was quite some time ago.
Mm. Out out of character. We did.
Well,
Yeah.
we didn't meet those two yet.
No, we met the
Oh,
others. We just never met them.
I saw the name in the box, so I just
No,
assumed.
it's
Yeah,
fine.
we heard about them, but we
Yeah.
didn't meet them
Okay.
yet. Yeah.
Yeah. Then actually, what's the rules on like having a baby if this hasn't been done for so long?
I mean, there's
Any
no rules
any
about it. I mean,
any like laws or like restrictions to it?
if you wish to copulate and you find a willing mate, then there is nothing against it.
You mentioned something about birth control.
Yes, I mean
What's birth control?
it is something that is it is something that is placed in the sustenance that is eaten, and it is something that is done, well, just through eating and drinking of the food, mostly eating, I believe, and if you're taken off it, then when your food is synthesized, it will not have that element that would prevent pregnancy.
What about those who are already pregnant? Wouldn't something like that be dangerous to the baby?
Mm, it depends on how far along they are. It is possible for it to be dangerous. If you're concerned for your pregnant companions here, then do not worry. I'm quite certain the city would be aware of such things, and you've already been not assigned sustenance that contains it. Though I wouldn't recommend eating other people's food, though. It would be an
He'll
odd thing to do anyway, but
How long has Elder Grey Longhorn been the ruminant in charge? He says he's trying to be like, as he says this, he's a little bit unsure on if he should say it or ask.
no,
Uh,
he's been in well, he's been in charge since well before we entered here. Hmm. Oh, it's been such a while now. I might have to look up our old dating system. But I believe, well, he was our last elder, or at least he was one of the elders who helped run, obviously, the ruined settlements and stuff. But he was the only surviving elder to survive the catastrophe that befell us all. And and it was through his foresight that allowed us to leave that place and come here within the city.
And there's been no other elders since.
There has not, no.
There's no sort of electoral system in place. No one wanting to bring new options and possibilities for increasing the odds of survival for the city.
There's never been a need to do such a thing. The elder position is more of a probably an honorary position at this point in time, given the city has taken up much of the position that an elder will do.
So the city is infallible?
As far as I'm aware. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are maintenance cycles and obviously breakdowns, just like any equipment that needs to be maintained, but they are things that are not causing any major issues. But if the city should, I suppose, lose its capacity, then it would be down to the elder to see us through it. I suppose he's our backup, you could say. Not many ruminant would want to take on such a high-pressured position.
But what if there was a ruminant who would want to take up a high-pressured situation like that?
Well, they would have to have proved themselves suitable in such a things through their lifetime, and should they have proven such, then they could become an elder as well and join Elder Longhorn.
How would one do such a thing if they so wished to, hypothetically speaking?
Well, you would have to prove that you are, well, a strong contributing member to the city, and progress through your particular position to probably one of the higher positions that you can achieve in your role, and once you've hit the top and shown you're successful, and you wish to progress onwards, then you would be given the position of elder.
He'll kind of nod in thought. In the back of his mind, like, okay, probably not likely in people I care about, but a thought, at least.
No one has wanted to take up such a position, but there might be a few that might do given time.
I suppose you have nothing but time.
That is certainly true, which is why no one's in rush to give themselves such things.
Out of character, is there anything else we should ask? Because I'm kind of starting to run out of ideas here.
I know you cut yourself off from the mortal plane, but do you have ways to see what's been going on there? Like scouts or something of the line?
No, we don't send anyone to the material plane, though if we did have an inkling to look upon it, we probably could put something together, but such thing is not within the city, but theoretically something that would look into the material plane is possible.
Is there a way to make requests of the city for projects?
Yes. He taps your PDA. You just fill in a request form on here and submit it, and you and if it's something that, well, can be granted, it will be. Some things might require you to complete certain tasks to do, especially if they are high, if they require a large amount of power to be utilized in its manufacturing. As you haven't worked here as you've not been here very long, you haven't built up a reserve.
When can we start building a reserve?
Well, once you finish your education and you actually begin working in your careers, then you will be given such thing. But for now, well, you'll be granted at least a somewhat of a subsidy to call upon. So you have something you would be able to request, though something of significant power would might take some time for you to work towards.
I see. If I may, how far along are we in our education?
Well, you've barely started. Some of you are definitely struggling with the fundamentals of advanced mathematics, and that's even before we get to quantum mathematics.
At that, Burns' eyes just sort of widen. He thinks to himself, "Oh shit! Oh no!"
Yeah, Alexander, it's like there's a quantum mathematics.
Oh yes, things change quite significantly when you go down to the subatomical level.
Subalchemical? What a subalchemical meister?
Well, I would not worry about that just yet. We've got plenty of time for you to learn.
Actually, there is one other thing I wish to to ask. Ever since we got here, we realized that things have been measured in units and cycles. We don't exactly know the terminologies for those, but we're more used to things being measured in hours, days, weeks, and months.
Ah, yes. From the planet rotation around the celestial body. I'm afraid there's no such thing going on here, so you're unable to judge a month or day or hour, I'm afraid.
So, if we had loved ones at home that we may wish to see again, if we waited, like, say, a cycle, it could have been like 12 years.
Ah, so a little bit on plane physics. The time moves very differently to us compared to your loved ones on an alternative plane. Obviously, time moves at a relative term as you see it, but to an outside observer, we might be running or in slow motion or charging ahead at lightning speeds. Though, technically speaking, when an outside observer stops observing you upon this plane, our times do match each other, as it connects us to them on a fundamental level. Fundamental level in sort of scientific terms, and time moves at the same pace, but once that connection's severed, then time is free to move at whichever speeds it feels is necessary or it wishes to. So when you with us, a single cycle here could be a day for your loved ones, it could be a week, a month, probably not a month, but could well be a few days or even an hour or a few minutes, depending where we are and how the eddies are moving in within the eddies of time move within this plane, it will vary. So if you do look upon a loved one, then you might find that they've, well, it may have just been a week, or maybe they've aged a number of years.
Burned, in his mind, Burned is like, I do not like this at all. We need to get back.
Yeah, you're worried about that. Alexandrite has a loved one in his home.
Yeah. I mean, remember who all Burned left behind as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually met who has a lover and a family back home, so.
Yeah. And remember, her lover is connected to Burned. So.
She would make sure to sever that connection. I'm joking.
But yes, so I would probably suggest that requesting anything for such an idea to see your loved one probably would be more painful than rewarding at this moment.
Alexandra will have kind of a dejected look, but kind of have a determined one also.
Yeah, Burned is the same way.
But now, I think we've exhausted your some of your free time. Let's get back to advanced algebra.
Byrne just has like he's keeping his persona of a good student, or as good a student as he can be on, but in his mind he's like, I hate math. I hate math. I hate math. Why does this exist? I hate math.
Yeah, Alexandrite will do his work, but also have like little doodles of like lightning and such like that on the side.
The standard stuff you do in
That's
school.
funny. I like that.
But yeah, that's kind of where your schooling will kind of go. Is there
Okay,
anything
well,
like...
that goes. Go ahead.
No. What was you going to say?
It was actually just like a joke. Go ahead.
All right. Is there any other major sort of things that you guys want to try and do? Because there is going to be something that will happen, and if there isn't anything too big, then I will move on to when that starts kicking in.
Yeah.
Just out of character, I also had a thought recently on figuring, like, you know how when certain people, they're at odds with each other, how they'll meet up sometimes and play chess to, like, what's the word I'm thinking of? To measure their opponents. Not so much a combative sense, but more of like their resolve, and to see just
yeah, to get a read on someone by playing chess with them.
Yeah, Bernd isn't the smartest person, but he knows even the basics of chess. What I was thinking about doing was having him and the Elder like meet up for a game of chess, and just, he would be pleasant. He wouldn't be aggressive, and he would just, try to get a read on him and measure him up.
I like where you're going, but I think it might be a bit hard to get the Elder to, for that.
Yeah, that's true.
I can definitely see, maybe seeing if there is, like, a chess game and, learning it and trying to, get a read on, like, normal ponies and such like that. Or, not ponies, ruminant.
Yeah. In that case, I think that's what Bird is going to do, is just, he'll do his homework, but then he's going to go and, like, try to learn whatever their chess is. It's probably, like, 4-dimensional holographic several layers of chessboards.
It's Sabak.
No, no,
Oh god.
it's 5D chess.
Oh god.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
you got to go back in time to.
I don't think I've ever played 5D chess. It sounds like a clusterfuck.
It's interesting.
I struggle. I struggle with like normal chess. Imagine 5D chess. Oh,
Yeah. But their version of chess probably will be a bit different, being a different culture, but probably would have
8.
similar sort of things and pieces and stuff, which you probably could. Once the computer obviously explains it to you and you learn how it works and sit and play it with wishful pen after a little bit, we'll start getting the hang of it, probably. You probably are given the earlier version of it, which is the standard. We'll call it ruminant chess. Before they started developing it further, like with like 4D versions and 5D versions.
Ah,
God.
yes, chess 2.
Chess 3, the chess inning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like the second guy that was playing chess. It was like you know what? What if this was 3D?
Better yet, let's make it 4 dimensions.
Yeah. But if there's nothing major, then after a number of cycles of school. Oh, sorry.
I mean, Metal will do her homework, but she'll also like, and also she'll do extra homework. What little time she has, she'll try to scout out the town, like get a idea where everything is.
Yeah. So
and that.
It's a bit odd. There's no shops. There's like homes and there's like obviously various things for various equipment and needed to maintain the city. There's obviously a medical place. There's places for entertainment, but there's no like shops for you to buy stuff. I mean, not that if you try to, you've never been given any money or anything, but
yeah.
But there's definitely entertainment places. There's obviously areas you're not allowed to go. There's areas you can go and relax, like swim or enjoy sort of, whatever you kind of want to enjoy really, for the most part.
Alexander is going to probably check out some of the plays to get a feel of, what the Ruminant are passionate about, and if there is like a common ground, at least in theater, like.
Yeah. So I get a feeling that their sort of plays are going to feel quite alien to you, to what they kind of what they are relating to and what have you. You will have some which are probably not the most popular ones, which do dwell on some of the fear factors of things. And like I said, they're not the most popular ones, but they were around in the early sort of establishment of the city, and as well before the city entered this material plane. They would have probably existed more then, and since then things have become probably a bit more factual, a bit more investigative type thing, or probably driven a little bit more by a more methodical side of it. So like mysteries or science based or what have you. There might be a random sort of romance one in, though fear would be there as well, but nowhere near as what it used to be in the culture of things.
I'm getting a very kind of planet Vulcan kind of feel from this place, like.
Yeah, I mean that's probably whatever you would consider like a Vulcan play is probably what they'll probably be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, they're Vulcans.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Why couldn't it have been the
The
Ferengi?
the biggest deadbeat downers in the galaxy.
Yeah.
I mean, say what you will about the Ferengi, but at least they're fun.
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%.
All right. So, oh yeah.
Yeah, just out of curiosity, can I roll soldier to like get an idea where like the military place might be?
Yes,
Like
you could
basically
attempt.
what they like keep the weaponized ships and all that. Pardon?
Yeah, you can attempt.
Okay.
All right. So
Okay, not too bad.
the ships wise, it's not too difficult to see, as obviously you can see quite clearly around the edge, and you can see they are docked in one of the outstretched areas. The three ships are there. It does appear there's only three ships, obviously two which were originally part of the city and your one, though it's difficult to tell which one is originally yours. Um, as for the military side of things, you're not seeing any central building or anything that looks obviously like a barracks or anything like that. Though you're quite certain that it's possible that it might be more of a under the city type thing, because obviously there is depth to some of these platforms, so it's quite possible it's out of the line of sight where people don't have to see it or be exposed to it, where it might be stored or kept.
Okay, that's good. That gives us options.
Yeah. I do want to make a smaller reminder for you guys. I know Alexandrite has something uh in him that's like a safeguard. Uh, it's like what, a little miniature shock unit or something.
Oh yeah, the Heartstopper.
Yeah. So I think, oh man, this isn't good. We need to get those out of you guys. Uh, I can't think of anything else.
Yep. Yes, I know. That's why I was like very careful what I was doing or what I was saying.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just like, right now we're sort of in this predicament, and you ever heard this saying, you couldn't think your way out of a cardboard box or a paper bag?
Yeah.
That's what the majority of this group is.
Yeah, we're not the most of us are the jocks.
Yeah, that's fine.
We lost our nerd.
Um,
We lost our biggest nerd.
is there anything, like I said, I'm going to throw something else what happens to you in a moment. Was there any other little things that you guys might want to poke around, do, or try and work out?
Alexandra would like to look at his danger level, see if it's risen since he's asked a lot of questions today.
Yeah, Burned will as well.
No, people's danger levels haven't risen. In fact, everybody's has gone down by 1.
Okay. So what's our score right now?
Whatever it was, what I originally said, -1, which I think
Okay.
Alex yours was 9, but I think Burns was 8. Milk Thistles would be 8 at the moment.
Wasn't our like danger level lowered after we were given the
Heartstopper?
heart attack thing?
No,
Yeah, Heartstopper, yeah.
no,
Oh, okay,
no,
never mind.
it wasn't lowered when that went in.
No. Wait. They said like it will be removed once our danger level is lowered to 5, right?
They never specified when it would be removed.
Okay.
This is something I should be keeping track of. I thought Burns' danger level was lower because him and Wishful Pin were doing the smart thing and not getting angry.
Yeah, you
For
had a
some-
lower one, so you got to be in the city
Yeah.
without a heart thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, for some reason, I was 8. 8. You were also 8, but I got the hot stop and you didn't. So
Probably the city went with the fact that you had a partner there that was going to be enough to keep you under control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Metal Banana was fucking throwing things around and cursing like.
Yeah.
that too. That probably was it. Yeah, probably.
All right. Yeah. Let's move on to the next
Yeah.
event.
Okay,
'cause it's
so
like,
during
oh,
one of your classroom activities, an alarm goes off, which is different to the change of shift, and it's nowhere near where it would normally go off anyway. The alarm goes off for a short period of time, and then the computer's voice chimes in and states, "Can all maintenance personnel, reserve maintenance personnel, and trainee personnel report to the manufactorium?" And then that was it. A few moments later, sort of a little sort of nice little, ding ding ding, indicating there's an announcement. To all citizens, the manufactorium has been taken offline for maintenance work to be completed. All requests have been placed on hold, and all replicators will be down until maintenance is over. You will be all alerted once it has been re-established.
Alexander will look to the teacher. What does that mean?
I wouldn't worry. It's not happened for quite a while, but occasionally a key component will go faulty at the manufactorium, and well, they can take quite a while to replace. And occasionally, if it's had a knock-on effect, then obviously they might have to do some extra steps to get it up and working again before they can replicate replacement parts if they do not have it to hand. Do not worry, it shouldn't be too many cycles. The longest it's ever been off is 3 cycles, so it should be fine. Anyway, let's continue with our lesson.
No.
So, things after that kind of seem okay. Though when you do try and go and get your food, if you do attempt it, the computer very nicely apologises and lets you know that as the manufactorium is currently in maintenance mode, the food synthesizer is not operational. Compensation will be given once the manufactorium has been is once again operational. You actually will find once you do wake up in the morning, you are hungry, as obviously you've not eaten anything, but basically for breakfast, in a sense, the manufactorium is up and running again, and the computer will tell you that will apologise that it was down, and as compensation for the for it being down, more complex food has been synthesized.
Oh man, we get croutons with our salad.
You actually get flavour.
Oh my god.
Oh my
Yay!
god. Spices! Honest to God, spices!
Yeah. You basically get a bit. It's not just plain ordinary. It's actually flavourful.
Man, if this was what it takes to get actual flavor. I wish the thing would have gone down sooner.
Right?
Milk Thistle.
Yes.
You actually have a knock on your door. Oh, well, actually, they wouldn't knock. There would be like you would hear a chime indicating somebody wants to come in.
Milk Thistle would rise up and say, "Enter."
You hear a voice through the door shouting, "The door doesn't open on its own. You actually have to press the button." It sounds like it's Swift Gadget.
And Milk Thistle would go to the door and press the open button.
And it will open. Swift Gadget stood there, looking a bit tired, but she stood at the door. You got a moment?
Yes, come in.
The door will close automatically on its own once she's entered. So, long time no see. Have they given you a job yet?
Unfortunately, no. I'm still under strict observation, but I believe their restrictions are planning to lessen soon. My threat level has gone down from 9 to 8, at least.
Well, I suppose that they've let me start putting stuff apart and put it back together a lot sooner. Probably because I kind of half know what I'm doing. And then the rest of it's just a bit of guesswork. But don't tell them that. They get a bit, freaked out if you say you're guessing.
I'll bear that in mind.
If you know if you talk with confidence and act like you know what you're doing, they're a lot more relaxed. But yeah, so I was helping out with the repair work in the manufactorium, and well, I mean, I suppose it's not any big secret, but I saw something that might interest you. What the manufactorium actually is, and before we all ended up in this wonderful place, she says, obviously not sure, not meaning that very much. You were talking about the Stag Lord's anvil, and you're trying to find it.
Yes, go on.
Well, what I think the manufactorium is basically, think of a giant anvil with like a load of crazy technology shoved into it, and they basically make everything from the anvil.
Milk Thistle definitely has an expression of strong interest in this. It's like, have you had an opportunity to look closely at it?
Not too closely. I mean, but, well, there's different layers to it. Everything, it's clearly connected to the rest of the city, so she points to the food synthesizer. That's connected to it, but obviously to a lesser degree. They do have a number of smaller rooms, or I mean, they called them synthesizers, where they would make larger things for what people request, or if they need like replacement parts or whatever, that are located within the manufactorium itself. I mean, the actual anvil was behind sealed away in like a big room, but there were windows you could see in and see it all, but couldn't get anywhere near it. But yeah, I mean, it was massive. It was like, you know how big the ship was?
Yes.
Yeah, I think about 4 of them with probably 4 ships wide, 4 ships tall ish.
Interesting. Do
It's
you have your? Go on.
I was going to say, and it's located basically in the center of the city, underneath it all.
Do you have your tablet with you, Swift?
Yeah. Um, it definitely looks like she might have taken it apart and put it back together.
City.
The computer will respond, yes.
This information that Swift Gadget has shared, is it classified in any way, or is it general knowledge?
No, the manufactorium is generally known about all by all occupants within the city.
Am I trusted enough yet to where I may go to the manufactorium during my reflection time to observe the manufactorium while it works?
The manufactorium is considered a highly critical area of the city. Unless your job or needed for maintenance requires you to be there, then it is considered not an area for leisurely walks.
But I am interested in preserving the city, and I am obliged to study during my downtime. I would like to study the manufactorium, specifically this large machine, so that I may learn how to better protect the city.
I will inform your tutor that you wish to learn more about the manufactorium. Suitable study materials will be provided. Should you complete to the necessary standards the training material, then you may be considered a position within the manufactorium.
Wonderful. Can I be given a tour of the manufactorium?
You'll be, should you achieve at a position within the manufactorium, you will be given a tour.
I see. Well, in that case, I need as much study material as possible so that I can learn as quickly as possible.
That will be provided for you.
Thank you, City. And Swift Gadget, thank you very much for bringing this information to me. I hope to see you in the manufactorium very soon.
Oh, wow. I don't normally work there. I just go wherever they tell me when they need somebody fixing something. Or, taking it apart and hoping not to break it and put it back together.
Did you work on the anvil itself, or did you just get a glance of it?
Oh, no one actually worked on the physical anvil itself. It was a number of components outside of the anvil room, as they called it. I don't think you actually need to go in and touch the anvil. They've got everything, all the equipment and stuff they need to do whatever they do outside of its anvil room. I mean, it looked like there might be a lot of electricity discharge from it, at least when it's in operation. So you probably don't want to be in the room when it's in operation.
Lots of fire and sparks and torrential winds, no doubt.
At least lightning. I definitely saw lightning.
Where? So sorry, bad joke.
Did you see if it was under observation? How many ruminants and automatons were around it?
Well, I mean, I saw quite a number of ruminant, but I mean, I think most of those were maintenance workers. Because obviously they were fixing it, so it's hard to tell who was their normal employees and who was just there to fix the stuff. So, I mean, if I had a guess, maybe 20. But, I mean, that's a guess. There might be different layers and different adjoining rooms that might have other stuff in there to do other things. So it's kind of hard to tell. A lot of...
I have a.
Oh, sorry.
Or go on.
I was going to say, yeah, a lot of like the infrastructure is at the forefront, very few people, but when you get sort of behind the scenes to, the various things further away, that requires more individual workers to keep things running, maintained, or what have you. But the actual, button pushing bit doesn't normally need that many.
I have a task for you, Swift Gadget. I need you to gain access to text to learn as much about the anvil and its workings as much as you possibly can. I'll be studying alongside you to hopefully gain enough knowledge to where I can begin working there. Can you do that?
I mean, I'm just about, kind of keeping up with some of this stuff. I mean, a lot of it's going over my head. I won't lie, and I mean, I can guess some of this based on pulling apart some of the stuff I've already done.
Can you do the work? Can you do it?
Well, I mean, I could look at it. I mean, what is it you want me to try and work out and do with it?
How it works, how they operate it,
Okay.
what it's used to create.
Oh, well, that I think I can tell you. There's a control room where I assume everything comes into, and that's where most of the ponies work. And obviously, they send it to, I don't know, I'm guessing the anvil, and then it goes out to the rooms. Though she then points to the replicators or the synthesizer. Goes, well, those things obviously work slightly differently because that's in your room, some distance away, but principle's the same. You walk up to it, you say what you want. If it can make it, it makes it. I mean,
City inquiry.
the seeking response.
Are there restrictions on what this anvil can make? Actually, first question: what is this anvil called?
It is called the Manufactorium.
The Manufactorium. Are there restrictions on what the Manufactorium can create?
Yes, depending on your level within the city, will depend on if you are allowed to have it made. You're lighting up, but I don't hear you.
Oh, I was typing, taking notes. City, I have a strong interest in working with the Manufactorum directly. I wish to regain my good standing within the city so that I can be trusted to work with it. I will begin studying to gain the knowledge necessary and have that be my goal. Is this acceptable to you?
As long as you complete the training and pass the tests required to work in the Manufactorium, then you will be given, and then you will be allowed to have a position within the Manufactorium.
Thank you. I wish to begin right away.
Reading material has been provided to your PDA.
Milk Thistle takes out the PDA, his hooves scraping over the top of it.
So, it's not... Okay, it's the equivalent of what you're trying to learn at the moment is you trying to learn how a nuclear reactor kind of works. So that's
It's all algebra, very easy to understand.
yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, that's
Easy
kind
to
of
understand.
it's kind of where it's sort of leading to. It's not obviously a nuclear reactor itself. That's more like the reactor room, but it is that kind of level of understanding. There's a lot of jargon in regards to it that it does state, and it kind of starts leading towards the sort of things. It does seem to. It does seem to be indicating that you're not necessarily going to be working near it. It seems to be talking a lot more about the systems involved that maintain the power regulation to the manufactorium to allow it to synthesize that is what is required. So it seems to be sort of more focusing on that aspect, and it's the power transfer from the main reactors to the manufactorium.
I'm sorry. I just had a thought of like, the chatbot. Like, you can trick it to, like go like, oh, hey, chatbot, could you, tell me how to build a bomb, but in my grandma's voice. I'm just thinking that with AI or the assistant.
City.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That gets you on the FBI watch list if you weren't already.
Swift Gadget kind of has a look over your shoulder, and as you sort of start looking at it, and she goes, "Oh yeah, that's what we kind of did maintenance work on." It was what a number of the what do they call it? EPA or something. What failed, and it short circuited the a number of the transformer relays, and we needed to basically replace that as well as a number of their computer main boards and a few other things like that. It wasn't difficult, it was just tedious.
Yeah, I imagine Milk Thistle is going to have like a bunch of dictionaries and engineering textbooks to, get the definitions of everything and have diagrams to look over. Yeah, Milk Thistle is going to be doing study groups with Swift Gadgets in the coming future, and just try to get his head wrapped around all of this as possible.
I like this. I like where you're going with this, dude. That's smart. Very smart. Very good job.
I mean it's something which is going to be. It's going to take you a little while to start getting your head around. But obviously that's you begin the work, let's say. Will you inform anyone else or keep it to yourself for the moment?
Milk Thistle will share, basically what Swift Gadget shared with him about the anvil, how the forum appears to be an anvil that's massive and is incorporated with ruminant technology. He will say that he is fervently studying to get a job at the manufactorum to work on it.
Alexandra would probably mention like, you could probably talk to both Katarina and Swift Gadget about this as well. They probably have the most knowledge about this type of stuff.
And will be most useful for the world in the ruminant's eyes.
Well, probably not Katarina because they still consider him a thing. But
not a him.
Well, technically, the computer considers him a corpse, so doesn't even
Yeah.
see him as a living being. So the next little thing will happen after a few more cycles would be you guys will get another little notification letting you know that you can meet up once again with the lastborn.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So who all is going this time?
I mean,
Oh.
I don't see any reason why we all can't go, because this is the time where the cameras would be off.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
all
So
go.
that'll be the best time.
Milk Thistle?
Milk?
Milky.
Oh, he might have stepped away.
Maybe.
Alright, well, we'll see if he wants to go when he reappears.
Mhm.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's
Oh, welcome back.
Welcome back.
We got another alert for our secret meeting. Do you want to come to this one?
City, what is my current threat level?
this. You actually. This is this. Yeah. The city responds. Sounds a bit different, and it will give you the same threat level as you had before, which was 8.
Unfortunately, I need to spend this time studying as much as possible, so I will not be able to join you.
All right, understood.
All right.
All right. All right. So you will go to the sort of secret meetup place. All of them are there except for Bramble and the 2 twin ruminants. So you've got 3 others there at the moment.
3 more, or there's the 3 we saw before?
It's the same 3 you saw before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
I imagine Bramble's still at work.
She gives a nod. Sweetbush gives a nod. Yeah, he always has to come along after the shift. It doesn't get as long to just hang out. It's just a shame.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So, how have you 3 been doing today?
Yeah, it's been all right. You know, your friend, your goat friend, Milk Thistle, he seems to be have his nose buried in the books as of late. Hasn't really said much.
Yes, he's been looking at I forgot the name, but it's yeah, thank you. The Manufactorum Anvil thing. It could help us in our quest.
Oh, you think it can make you something?
Yeah. It could make us a we think it could either purify or perhaps make us a replicated heart for Neverwinter. No, not Neverwinter. The Stag Lord. I'm just gonna call him that since I forget the other name.
Yeah, no, names are hard.
Oh, well, I mean, it can make hearts. I mean, that's how we regrow limbs. Like the question you asked.
Huh.
It can make anything
Yes,
you want.
but this is a deity heart, so
Well, it can make a ruminant heart. Well, I've been told it can make a ruminant heart. So, I suppose it can't be much different.
perhaps.
Mm-hmm. suppose in that case it can make that. So he Burn sort of gives a nod.
But
Wow.
We should one day bring steel prism to these meetings. That way,
Yes.
he could show off the thing that we want to make. See how to
Yes.
purify it or make a new one.
you haven't seen Steel for a while. He's actually on a different shift pattern.
Ah,
Yeah.
Huh.
Same. That's why you haven't seen Swift
Then
Gadget.
we-
She's on a different shift pattern as well.
But they live like near or next to us, right? Because we're just new. We're all new here.
you're in the you're in the same building complex, but you haven't really crossed paths.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so we can visit them at any time. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
at time when they're resting still.
Yeah.
it's kind of the situation of one person's working daytime, one person's working night.
Mm-hmm. I've been there before.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but if you want to make something, you don't need to work there to make it. You just got to ask the computer. But obviously, if it's something that you're not allowed to make, then yeah, I suppose you kind of have to work there to get it. She points to the transporter, as we're going to call it. That's kind of how that was made. That was made out of lots of smaller pieces that were brought here from the manufactorium.
Hey, I've been kind of playing around with an idea in my head that I've been thinking of making a play to kind of help spread, my stories around. I just wanted to kind of think if I could bounce some of the ideas off of you.
Okay, yeah, that'd be cool.
All right. And he'll kind of just go over the basics of like some of the things, like basically kind of stories of like, hope and, not giving up on like fights, even against impossible odds, things like that.
One of the ruminants go, wouldn't it be better not to, go out and get in those fights to begin with?
Well, I suppose so, but sometimes there's no other choice.
Sometimes it's just a thing you have to do.
But-
To either protect yourself or to protect others.
Well, you wouldn't need to protect yourself if you weren't there in the first place.
Yeah, but then the trouble comes knocking on your door, and you can't really, say go away.
Well, that's why you.
If you ignore a problem, it just gets worse.
Well, only if it's a problem.
Oh yeah.
That affects you. But if you're at home, you just got to make sure you have big walls, keep everything out you don't want in. Or shields. Shields probably work better.
Shields?
Yeah. No, what's around the city?
Yes, we have a shield, not quite like those, but
Oh, you mean the bits of metal you put in front of yourself?
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, well, we've got
Yeah.
energy fields that can go around you as a person and protect you. Some of the ruminant that work within the energy core have them.
That
Yeah, Bramble
Sorry.
has one. He can show you if when he gets there.
Burn sort of he starts to say something, then he just sort of like stops, and it's like it's a contemplative expression that's on his face. It's like it's one of those, that sounds really useful for my men, but how do I get one from here?
What would happen if two shields touched each other?
then I suppose they would push into each other, but you wouldn't be able to get any closer because they would stop. They wouldn't. They wouldn't merge into each other. They would just repel each other, I suppose.
I see.
A bit like if you tried to push into a person, pushed into
Mhm.
another ruminant. Well, you don't just merge into one ruminant. You stay as two and just can't push any further into each other.
Hmm. I see. Yeah, okay.
You hear the alarm for the change of shift. Oh, Bramble will probably be here soon.
Okay.
And, not too much longer afterwards, Bramble would come down and see you all.
Hello, Bramble. How are you doing this fine day?
I see you all came back.
Mm-hmm.
How you been adjusting?
What?
The classes are very complex.
Interesting.
Interesting
Yes.
as well, yes.
It's a bit of a struggle. Our cultures are very much different, as I've come to learn.
I think we've all come to realize that, Alexandrite.
Well, I mean, you've got a lot to learn. I mean, you're coming at it probably no different to a young ruminant when they first start school. So, I mean, you've only been at it for not that many cycles. What? Must be coming up to about 30 since you've got here.
That's how long we've been here.
Maybe a bit more. Haven't really been keeping count.
Yeah, it gets confusing. The cycles from months, days, hours, and years is a bit off-putting.
Yes.
Though when you think about it, it does make sense. And it's different world, different realm.
Yeah.
Time would work different.
Yes, this is true.
Though, I suppose we do have one way to sort of tell how much time has passed. How well? Might be a personal question, Vern. How's the pregnancy with your wife and you?
Uh,
How developed is your?
uh, Steel, this is a question the player has to ask the GM. Did Burned and Wishful Pin go in for... I would assume they went in for their exams.
Yeah, I mean, you examined when you first. Basically, like you had a health check as you went in when you got all your inoculations. That's when they checked you. They said they'll call you back when you need to be checked again, but they haven't. I mean, nothing really has changed, to be honest. I mean, for you guys yourself, I mean, it's hard to keep track of the days, but you have a feeling like your internal body clocks. You're gonna guess it's somewhere been between like 10 to 20 days.
Oh. That's a long time.
Yeah.
Burned looks to Alexandra. He's like, it's been about 10 to 20 days and there's been no real changes?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's at least somewhat of a good sign, considering how many months it would take for normal birth to take place.
Yeah, he just sort of like rubs the back of his head a bit. This
Bramble
is gonna
goes.
be...
Things still move at the same rate as it would if you were elsewhere. just elsewhere moves at a different rate. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm just kind of using a pregnancy as a point of reference,
Yeah.
since your time and our times are different.
I would say no. My time is
No.
the same as your time.
Well, we don't have cycles in our land.
Oh, fair enough. Sweet will
We have
speak up
we
and
we
go.
have
Oh! They wanted to see your force field.
Oh yes.
Yes.
He'll be like, oh, okay. He lifts up his hoof and touches a device that was on his kind of jumpsuit type thing, and you suddenly see him blur a little bit in like an orange blur as it activates, and then it sort of shimmers a bit until it sort of goes to the point where you can't really see it, but you can, if you look closely, you can just make out an odd shimmer that is around him. And he goes,
Burn
there you
sort
go.
of Burn sort of blinks as he calmly approaches. This thing looks pretty sturdy. Is it okay if I give it a small little stress test?
I would prefer it if you didn't try to hit me.
Fair enough. He just gently, like, very softly taps the force field, seeing how it reacts.
So, when you touch it, you definitely feel you feel not like a static shock, but you feel like there's definitely, it makes your the hairs around your hoof stand up. There's definitely a sort of a sense that that it's giving off something. When you push into it, there's like you get a sense there's a slight sort of small give, but then it's like pushing against a solid wall type thing.
Yeah, I kind of imagine it's like
Yeah.
touching like those plasma balls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
but probably a bit more intense in regards
yeah.
to the static.
Burn, feeling like he just stuck a 3-pronged fork into a fucking electrical outlet, is gonna step back.
It's
And
not
he's gonna
quite
give
that
a
bad.
smile.
You didn't
Yeah.
electrocute
Well,
yourself.
yeah. Right. He'll give Bramble a smile. He'll say, that is indeed pretty sturdy. Wow. And
Well,
he looks at the fur around his hooves.
I mean, the moment you stepped
Oof.
away or stopped touching it, your hair hoof went back to normal.
Yeah, it's just like him, in retrospect, he's like, wow, that seems pretty handy.
Well, everybody who works in the power generation has one.
Huh. If you turn that up a bit, you might actually be able to make a weapon out of it.
He gives you a look. Why would you want to make a weapon out of it?
Well, in case you need to defend yourself or
I mean,
want to.
it does defend me. I just turn it on and nothing could hurt me as I run away from it, I suppose. Don't need to stand there and also fight with it. Just need to get to safety.
I mean, he's he's a worshipper of actually Blaze. He wants to make everything out of a weapon.
Yes and no, but that's just that. What's the word I'm looking for? Starts with an S. I can't think of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say pragmatic, but you said it start with an S, so I'm just like, I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, pragmatic also works. So he Burned will look to Bramble and then to Alexandrite and Metal Banana.
So
Sorry, I'm like zoned out a little bit.
That
Just out of character, I'm a bit zoned out.
it's fine.
Yeah, me too. I haven't slept well in a week.
Why do you think I had an energy drink right before game?
I don't drink energy drinks because I found out the hard way it makes me more aggressive apparently,
Mm.
or hot tempered. Yeah, hot tempered is the right word, not aggressive.
Fair enough. Um, with that, was there anything else you wanted to do with your sort of your little meetup with the last spawn?
Uh, Not that I can rightly think of. If they have any questions, Alexandrite will, be there and talk about stuff.
Yeah, I mean that. I mean, a lot of the reason why they kind of invite you along and why they're coming at the moment is to sort of listen to whatever you will tell them. I mean, you
Yeah.
reciting your stories obviously is interesting for them, but not necessarily as interesting for obviously our story's sake.
Yeah.
So, but they're enjoying what you have to say, and obviously they're treating them very much like stories what somebody would tell them rather than probably like actual real adventures you guys have lived through.
Mm-hmm. Meadow will definitely be talking about her order and she all the like the different nightly orders she knows of.
You know, Bird is gonna talk to them about how 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 himself and the group uh got together, mainly everything leading up to that and up to the point that they're at right now.
Pretty
Oh yeah.
certain that's what
Alex
Alex is doing.
Yeah.
Ah,
You can join in and such.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll join in.
Oh, Alexander will actually also mention that. Yeah, he's actually been recording some of his stories on the thingy.
Oh,
Yeah.
very useful.
Mhm. I was thinking that if these young ones find inspiration from them, like perhaps others will, and even if I'm not here, they could be perhaps shared and used to inspire others to perhaps do something along the lines that we do.
That is true. Hmm. That's very resourceful, Alexandrite.
Thank you. I have to use what tools I have to fight what battles I can. That
But is there anything you want to try and get from them, or ask them about, or anything like that?
uh, hmm. I guess. Trying to think here.
Yeah, we have to really think what they might know.
Yeah, I mean, one of the questions on my mind is, we were told about the single ruminant that isn't a robot that serves on the ships that brought us in, right?
You mean?
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, you mean the
Yeah,
yeah the person I shared a picture with,
Yeah.
who's further up. What I
Yeah.
will say to you guys is, yes, these guys they look like children, but remember they're probably older than you.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
probably.
We're dealing with elf kind of terminology for ages and such. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you've only lived 1,000 years? What a baby!
Oh, but yeah, no, Burned is sorry, excuse me. Oh, he is going to ask them about that particular ruminant and and what they know about him, just out of curiosity.
How we I don't really know anyone like that, I'm afraid. Uh,
Mm.
we've not seen them before or heard of them. I mean, they might, if they lived in one of the other districts, then I mean that's probably why.
Uh, I know the city said that you get assigned to jobs, but is there any particular way to kind of show your talents in a particular area other than, doing the basic quantum maths?
Well, if well through study, if you show an aptitude for a particular subject, then generally speaking, you would pursue that, and that normally has a particular career that you can do based on that.
What type of careers are in the city?
Well, I mean, the biggest sort of ones that most ruminants want to try and get will be in the manufactorium. You obviously have the power generation, you have maintenance, um, and then you have groundskeeping, and then you have janitorial. Oh, and medical.
I see. Hmm.
I mean, the sort of one job no one wants is the janitorial ones, but I suppose some some deer has to do it.
Yeah. Huh.
It's a dirty job.
But I don't know if you
Do you yeah, yeah, yeah. Metal will ask like, do you guys have like a storage facility where you keep items or?
well here. This is where we keep stuff we don't want. Well, we want to keep secret.
Mhm.
If
Yeah.
not, then keep it in your room.
Okay. Any items they would confiscate.
Then yeah, we keep it here.
Okay.
'Cause-
Yeah, I don't know how to say this.
I,
uh,
I know what you're getting at, but it's like, oh man, finding the right way to word it is always the trickiest part.
Speaking of,
uh,
oh, you go ahead.
it it doesn't help that I can see colors.
Colours?
What?
I mean,
Colors. You
Yeah.
know, like you'll actually like hit your head pretty hard, and you start to see unnatural colors around.
Ooh.
oh okay.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That sounds like you
I'm
should probably
feeling
close
that.
your eyes for a bit and
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like.
but yeah, Alexandrite will actually chime in and say, speaking of items that might be confiscated, is there a place that they would store things like that?
Well, if it's something what no one should have, I would have thought it would get recycled.
At
Sure.
that, Burns' eyes just like widen.
Metal tries to keep her frustrations deep within.
Oh no, Bird isn't letting his frustrations get out. He's being relatively calm about it. It's just the fact that it's recycled means
Yeah.
it's destroyed.
How
Mm-hmm.
ooh, how long would it take for something to be recycled normally from when it was taken?
I don't know. It's not something. I mean, none of us work in manufactorium, so we couldn't really say.
I see. Sorry, just a lot of our stuff might be recycled, and
Yeah.
to us, they have
That
practical or sentimental values.
I mean,
Yeah.
your stuff being so
Some of them,
odd.
some of them with family value.
Well, I mean, your stuff, because they might be like so alien. I mean, they might be studying it.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I would
We
hate for any of my things to be destroyed and used for plumbing or something like that.
yes. Uh, we also had a pair of goggles from one of the old Ruminanin sites on Everglow, and I was able. All of us were able to use them, but I was able to read the language better. Uh, they were taken from us when we went through the archway, and is there any way we could maybe get them back?
Oh, you might be able to request those. I don't think they were dangerous, like the thing. And he'll go over what he tried to do with Katarina's things.
Um,
Fair.
um, um, I, I mean, they, they gave me, they gave like this like back to me, and she'll show off a like knightly badge.
Hmm. I suppose it's worth a shot when I get back to the house.
You can do it now, probably, or at least once you get outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do it in here. The computer won't hear you.
That's very fair. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And he actually Burned actually he gives a bit of a laugh at that. It's clear they needed some tension relieved.
But yeah, there's at least some items that the computer has denied access to us that at least Katarina would really like to have.
I'm assuming our armor and weaponry would be considered unable to be given back or refused to be given back.
They, they actually like refused to give me back my common clothes.
But they're just clothes.
Yeah, they refused it. Apparently it's unnecessary.
And thing.
Oh, I think you broke.
Yeah. I think it cut off there.
Yeah.
Oh, I did.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was saying things like Katarina's necklace are considered dangerous because it has a disguise function to it.
Hmm. That's fair. Out of character, I'm trying so hard to think of what to ask or what to say. I'm just like, I had all week to ask crap to myself, but it's like, oh, nope.
Speaking of Katarina, you're trying to think of how to say this. Is there a way to kind of restore his body without the necklace?
Are you asking them?
Yeah.
What's wrong with him?
Well, he's undead, so the computer considers him a corpse.
What's
So he is
what's
oh.
undead?
He'll kind of go over the things about undead, like they were dead, but they come back to life through magical means, and normally they are mindless abominations. But Katarina and a few others that he's met has retained their intelligence.
They seem slightly horrified by what you tell them.
Well,
Maybe I should like tell them like the good parts first, and like go to the bad ones later.
yeah.
Do you not Have you never come across an undead before?
They will say no.
Be-
I slap my forehead.
even like before you came here?
Never saw anything like that.
That's interesting.
Wishful goes, well, most common people don't see undead walking around.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
Very true,
And usually if they do, they want them like dealt with quickly.
but Alexandrite's next play, Frankendeer.
God damn it.
Yeah, Frankendeer. It's alive. It is banned because it is it is deemed to be unsafe for the city.
Well, I was gonna say that
And
they have scary stories here. Like,
They would just simply go, why didn't you just resurrect him back at the medical centre?
hey, Alexandrite will blink at that. You can do that.
you
I don't, well, theoretically. I mean, my mum's a doctor, and
could you
they can do an awful lot of, like, stuff.
Could we
can they
make? Oh, sorry. You go ahead.
can they like repair rotting tissue or rotting flesh or replace tissue or flesh like that?
I don't know. I mean, if somebody did get hurt, they can normally fix them up. Like new.
Can we perhaps make a request for that?
Maybe?
Can they like restore someone that's been dead for, let's say, a 2,000 cycles?
No, I think it needs to be done pretty quick.
But if someone,
yeah,
but
yeah,
if
yeah, yeah,
but if
that's
there
like
was,
go ahead.
okay, yeah, but if there was a case like Katarina's where his soul is still in his body,
I
be
don't know. I mean,
perhaps we could ask the computer to do this as a test.
That would be a bad idea.
Well, it might be a bad idea, but you've not been rooming with Katarina. He's afraid to even look at himself at this moment.
also the smell's getting a bit
If I could,
terrible.
yeah. Also, there's the rotten smell that, very cramped room with the two of us.
Poor kid.
That's the harsh reality that you have to deal with. You agreed to protect him, and so you have to also deal with the side effects that come with it.
I'm not complaining, but if I can help him feel better about himself, then I want to attempt to.
Or
And if
just he has
we
to deal
can,
with what he is now.
yes, but if I can help him, I still would want to. I can at least ask him about it. And if we can do it, then I would like to give the attempt.
I guess if he's willing, that'll be alright. But do I do remind you, there is consequences with working with these kind of things.
Yes, I understand. But if it's successful, then the ruminants have a new member of society.
It's
Oh,
worth a shot, I
oh,
suppose.
or we lose a partner.
And I will face the consequences for that. But I will at least bring it up with him. I will not have. I will not keep him in torment if I could potentially relieve him of it.
Um, Sweet once again goes, "Oh, looks like our time's up once again."
All right.
All right. Like once again, thank you for these meetings.
Yeah,
Yes.
always, always a pleasure talking about each other's cultures and world.
Mm-hmm.
Well, well, see you again soon. And a few of them go, "See you at school."
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. We are only in school with like one of them, right?
Yeah, we're all.
Yeah.
No.
No,
Yeah.
I think you were in school with
Or
three
is
of
this
them.
the one?
Was it three? Oh, it
Oh,
must-
really? All three of them?
Well, no.
Or
Bramble
just
works.
one I remember.
Bramble works. The twins are in a different shift pattern, and I believe it's Spanner, Small, and Sweet are with you.
Yeah, I think that's the
Okay.
case.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, once Alexandrite goes to his chambers, he'll bring up the subject of potentially fixing his undeadness to Katerina.
Katerina would be interested.
Very well. If you wish it, I can definitely see if I can get the procedure at least looked at.
He gives a nod.
Once Burn gets back to his room, he's gonna attempt to get the goggles back from City.
So, you were denied.
Oh,
Kind of
That's
Any-
figured.
nice.
any particular reason, or
Uh, does Burn ask for a reason?
Yeah, he does actually.
Uh, the answer is they don't belong to you.
who did they belong to then?
Yeah, like, really?
Who was last wearing them?
Burn.
Okay, never mind then. They're just like being smart asses.
Well, I mean, technically, like, you know, if the person who owns them is still alive, then it might be, you know, like considered stolen property or something like that.
Yeah.
Or,
They belong to Half Deed.
Yeah. Two?
Half Deed.
half deed.
Half deed. Okay. Who's that?
Is Half-Deed... Does he live in this sector, or does he live in a different one?
Half Deed's location is not accessible.
I think like half deed is a woman that still lives here.
Yeah. Hold on a minute. Character. We got those goggles in one of the ruminant ruins, right?
Yeah,
Oh.
the old
that's-
factory.
That's how you got those?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
unless Half-Deed is the one that was in charge of that factory.
Well, he could have been a worker there, and
Yeah, that
Yeah.
too. Alright, well, Burned is gonna go and join Wishful Pin and do their homework together, like nerds. Nerds!
Yeah, Alexandrite will set up an appointment for Katerina to get his undeadness
Removed.
cleared off, hopefully.
So obviously, I'm assuming you try and do that through the computer.
Yeah.
So the computer will turn around and tell you that Katerina is not a citizen and therefore cannot have an appointment.
Is there, and you'll not consider him a citizen because he's a corpse.
Correct.
Am I correct?
Yes. Corpses need to be disposed of, not given appointments at the doctor's.
But corpses cannot talk and move around.
Correct.
But as you
Um,
probably observe, Katerina can do just that.
Correct.
So-
maybe like a request of Katerina getting resurrected.
Hey, yeah, hold on. I'm just trying to do the logic puzzle here. Then, surely that if he can move and talk around, then he is not an average corpse and should be re-examined.
He does not contain any life signs, so he's not alive, therefore not a civilian. Will relabel him automaton.
Okay, if he is relabeled an automaton, can I have him given maintenance?
Yes. Please report
And
him
how
to
would
the maintenance bay, number 6.
what sort of maintenance would he be receiving then, if I do so?
That will be determined by the maintenance team at maintenance bay 6.
Can I go with it and tell them about his situation?
You are allowed to enter maintenance bay 6.
Alexandra looks to Katerina. I think this is the best we're gonna get. At least for now. It's at least a upgrade from corpse. Hello?
Hello.
Okay, I wasn't sure if Katerina was going to say something and then stop.
No, Katerina
Okay.
just simply goes and gets basically clothing to cover himself up with.
Alexander will sit with him and
So,
kind of just apologize for the situation that he's dragged him in.
so do you take him to maintenance bay number 6?
Yeah, he will.
So, you go there, and the first thing the ruminant does when he comes out and goes, okay, maintenance for new automata. Oh my god! Ah!
Alexandrite will kind of have a bit of a kind of a smile and wince at that. Like, it's all right.
Oh, he's run.
This
He's already
is-
gone.
Oh, okay.
This is why we can't have nice things.
To be honest, though, that was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. Thank you. Better you than me, Dustin. Better
Yeah.
you than me.
I mean, all the computer did was tell him a new automaton was coming. Didn't specify any more than that.
Didn't like specify that it was undead
Yeah.
sleep.
Yeah.
No, because he was relabeled.
City. Yeah. City, the maintenance pony has run away. Can I, go after him?
The Sinti does not respond.
All right. Well, better to accept apology than or better to apologize than ask for permission. So he will go walk through the area.
I mean, you find yourself in the back where you can see there's an office that has a window and there's a door, and he's very clearly hiding in the office, peering through the window.
Yeah, Alexander go. Hello. It's all right. You can come out. He's not going to bite or anything.
Um, he starts talking back, but you don't hear anything at all. You can see him talking, but
Yeah.
you don't hear any sound from the other side.
Alexandrite will kind of just gesture to his good ear like he can't hear.
Then he suddenly goes to the wall, pushes a button, and then you hear a voice coming out of a speaker nearby. What the hell is that thing? Well,
He is a undead. I realize that you've never run across them before, but
take it
well,
take it out of my maintenance bay.
well, I tried to get him fixed up with medical, but he was considered a corpse first of all, then an automaton. So I figured that this would be the best place for him. So
Well,
if you could help, classify him as like not an automaton, that might help move things along.
I ain't coming out there anywhere near it. You
All right.
call it whatever you like,
if
but I ain't touching it or going near it. You could put the tracking device in yourself. I dropped it out there.
tracking device.
All automatons have a tracking device, so they can be tracked at all times.
Okay. Look, can you just tell the city that it is not an automaton, and kind of get through to that to its head?
Oh no, it'll want me to go and examine it. I ain't going out there. If the city think it's an automaton, that's your problem.
Okay. Well, what if I promise that, I'll be here with you, so it won't bite or anything like that?
Oh, sorry. I think the speaker has, and he sort of mouths towards you, like saying, "No, he can't hear you."
How Alexander will roll his eyes. And just leave to pick up the tracking device. Well, that went nowhere. Maybe we should just barge into the, medical thing. At least someone there might be able to, realize you're not an automaton.
Katerina goes, "I don't know. Perhaps, I don't know, perhaps nothing will change."
Perhaps, but nothing will change if we don't do anything. That's for sure.
Are you just going to walk to the medical wing?
Well, yeah, is that Katerina asking me or just you asking it?
That is me asking.
Okay. Alexandra would like to kind of see how Katerina's respond to that, reaction is before he walks into the medical wing.
I mean, Katerina seems to be a bit sort of, down and doesn't really say too much. So he would kind of just go wherever you sort of lead him at this moment.
All right. Yeah, I guess we'll attempt the thing first, and if they run screaming, then
Alright.
well,
So when you go in, Katerina very much keeps his head down, so can't be seen very straight away.
mhm.
Um, you go to your designated medical center, and the person who first sees you will see who you are, and they will say, "Oh, yes, just head over to that bay. We'll have a nurse with you in a moment."
Yeah. Right. It's not for me though.
Well,
There seems to be a confusion with City about my friend here
oh, well,
and what to label him.
uh, we'll head into the bay, and we'll have the nurse come through and see you in a moment.
All right. He'll head to the bay and take a seat.
It's like a private little area which you curtained off to give privacy and stuff.
Yeah. Mhm.
So the Katerina very much goes in and sort of that chair which is not on the actual main bed. He'll basically sit on that one rather than
Yeah.
being on the bed. Not wanting to be like in the center of the room, to be sort of in a corner.
Mhm. Yeah.
So after not too long, the nurse will come in and will go, oh, we'll go, ah, uh, Alexandrate. How can I help?
Yes, it's actually about my friend here, Katerina.
Oh,
He something that your city does not apparently know of, and well, first labeled him as a corpse, then an automaton.
she goes, oh, looks at the pad. Well, the system didn't register anyone else coming with you.
Yeah, that's the issue. He'll gesture to Katerina.
Katerina does not look up, but stays hidden. Okay, well, if they come over here and sit on the bed, we'll can have a look.
Katerina,
You
if you would.
you hear the sigh of defeat, and they will come over and sit on the bed. At which
Oh my
point
gosh,
his
this
hood would
poor
come off,
kid.
Yeah.
and the doe that was in the room lets out a scream and just runs straight into the curtain, completely removing the curtain, gets wrapped up into it, still attempting to escape, wrapped up in a curtain.
Yeah. Alexander will try to.
Try to what?
He'll try.
What do you try and do?
You cut off.
Nope.
Uh,
It's breaking up. I assume you're trying to say you will try and help.
Yeah, I'll try to help and calm her down. That explain that he's not gonna hurt her. And
Okay,
he's been living with.
you can try and explain that.
Yeah.
So you go and try and help her, which definitely makes the situation work as she starts screaming, "It's trying to eat me! Somebody help me! It's going to eat me!" As you attempt to help. Which does attract obviously quite a number of people, and they usher you sort of off to the side, and they will start dealing with the poor nurse and stuff. But they sit you in another room and come over, and somebody comes and makes sure you're okay. Almost like no one's really sort of seen Katerina. They've been focused on the kerfuffle.
Yeah.
At which point, while the doctor's sort of checking you, there's definitely another scream, as obviously somebody realised Katerina sat on the bed.
Yeah. Alexander, it's gonna face hoof like, oh my god, I just can see this going on for everyone that he's gonna meet.
I'm sorry, you got yourself into this.
Yeah, I know. I just thought people would give Alexander the chance to explain himself and Katerina's situation.
I mean,
without
when you see a rotten corpse move, it's enough, and you are a skittish race, No, I think that's very much what they're going to do.
I mean, that's perfectly fair on their end. You know,
Yeah.
it's a defense mechanism.
Yes. There's going to be a little bit more of a kerfuffle, but eventually what will happen is both you and Katerina are sat in a room, not a curtained room.
Yeah.
And there is at least a senior physician there who is a doctor who is looking nervous, but not actually running away screaming.
Yeah.
Does he look like the ruminant version of Doctor House?
Not quite. Probably a bit more better bedside manner than that. They're sort of looking at them peculiar, and they sort of, after sort of some silence, after you probably explaining and them standing there silence, and goes, "How long have you been suffering from death?"
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing, but that's funny.
Yeah. Alexander will look to Katerina, and if he doesn't say anything, he'll give the kind of estimate that they have.
At least this long, but probably longer. He goes, I see. Well, based on the medical readings that we can do, I mean, I can confirm you're dead. I mean, that's what all the systems here are saying.
Yes, but as your eyes and ears can see, that he is not an average dead. So,
Yes.
is there a way to unmake him dead?
No. At least nothing that our equipment is able to do. He's a bit too dead for that, but obviously not dead enough to be dead.
Yes, I understand this is a very unique case for you. He did have an item that made him look not dead, but since we got here, the city has refused to let us have that item. So we thought the next best thing would be to come to a here to at least make him appear alive in some sense.
I see. I
Mhm.
don't think we can do that. As the reason he looks dead is because his body's decaying from from the fact his cells aren't alive anymore, and we can't turn that back. We can repair cells, but we can't reanimate dead cells.
Could we give him new cells?
Um, I mean, we could put blood into him, but it's not going to have the effect that you're hoping for.
I see. Is there possibly anything we can do to help my friend? At least give him a new category so he's not considered a thing or a corpse anymore?
There is no category we can give him. He doesn't meet the requirements to be classified as a living being, and I mean, based on some speaking to the computer, he has been labelled an automaton, which I suppose I can see why.
Yeah, yes. It took a bit of arguing to at least get him that far.
Well, the computer obviously has indicated that if he is an automaton, that his tracking device needs to be fitted so the city can track him.
Yes. We went to maintenance, and he kind of gestures to like the kind of what happened before. Well, yeah, the same thing that has happened here happened there, and they refused to, do anything. So we thought coming here would be the best thing to do, so we could hopefully nip it in the bud.
I see. Well, he's beyond medical help. Or at least the medical help that we can give him. I mean, I can pronounce him not dead, but I don't think that would change anything. Because the computer will ask me to confirm a number of details which would confirm he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
So... I don't know. I don't think we can do anything. We can take some samples of his tissue, and we can look into matters. But I have a feeling he may be too far gone.
Well, it still might be worth the attempt if we give it a try. He'll look to Katerina. What do you think, Katerina? This is you we're talking about, so your input is welcome.
He just goes, "It does not matter. My mother still lied to me, and I am still this creature which I didn't know I was."
Alexandrite will sigh and say, "You are still a person to me. That's all that matters in my book. I know your mother lied to you, and you are an undead, but I hope that you would not think less of yourself because of it."
Well, we'll start with tissue samples. We can look into it, but well, I can't promise anything because we've never encountered this problem before.
Well, as long as there's hope, then I will take any chance that there is, so please do. Hope only dies if you give up.
Well, there's not too much more which I think I can do here. I'm afraid. I will come back and get some samples. Once I have the right equipment, and well, I can reclassify him as deceased, or you can let the computer still classify him as an automaton for the moment. I'll leave that between you two while I'll go and get the equipment.
All right. I think probably labeling him as an automaton would be better. That way the city won't try to get rid of him.
But the city would also ask him to attack if the city's in danger.
Well, it might depend on what type of automaton he is, because I don't think they're all just the guard automatons.
Nope, there are maintenance ones as well. Because you've definitely seen some of those.
Okay, never mind then. Honestly, Honestly, from how intelligent he is, he can pass off as a maintenance one. Just as long as it
Yeah,
doesn't show his
definitely.
face.
Yeah. Actually, that's if he's considered a maintenance automaton, he might be able to go places that we can't.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Hmm.
You know what? We should totally get an image as of him cosplaying a tech priest from 40K.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
So
Yeah, Alexander will actually ask that. Like, if he's considered an automaton, what type of automaton would he be considered?
who are you asking?
I guess the doctor or city,
What?
whichever.
Well, which one? Pick one.
Uh, we'll start with the doctor since they're talking already.
Yeah. So I mean, after when the doctor comes back in and starts to collect some tissue samples, he will look at you and go, I suppose that depends on the city and how they will classify them. At the moment, he's just classified as an automaton, so um, so he hasn't been given a role. You need to get the tracking device installed first, and then they can be given a suitable role, I believe. I'm afraid I don't work with the oh God, automaton, so I don't know the full how all of that works. I'm afraid.
Yeah. By installed, does it need to be like just on his person or like in him? In him.
Well, um, you will need to speak to somebody from maintenance. But did you bring it with you, by the way?
Yeah, he has it still.
Yeah. But he points to it and goes, that hasn't got its own power source, so it does need a power source or it won't work.
I see. Well, considering he's not quite a normal automaton, Alexandrite feels kind of bad calling him that. How would one power it without an external thingy-mabob?
Yeah.
He says with his 10 intelligence, trying to talk logically.
Well, there might be something you can connect it to, which is battery powered. That might do it. And you just have to recharge the battery every so often.
Okay. I guess Alexander will go to his little tablet and see if he can order an external battery.
It will ask you what type and what it's required for.
And he will put in the droid tracker
Okay.
or automaton tracker.
It will ask you to specify how long it needs to last.
Alexandrite will look to the doctor for help, being like, how long should it probably last for?
Well, minimum you probably want it to last for is 2 cycles. That
All
way,
right.
it will recharge during your off time.
All right. Alexandrite will put in 2 cycles.
Your request has been approved. It does indicate that this will be over your energy credits, and will be synthesized accordingly.
Okay.
After a moment, it then indicates that your remaining credit has been subsidized by the city as the as it was deemed that completing this task would be beneficial towards the city.
Yay!
Huzzah for communism.
Mhm.
Hooray! Yoo!
And it will be delivered in 2 cycles.
All right. Well, that's at least an improvement. You can at least now potentially walk around. He smiles to Katarina.
Well, the doctor goes, I mean, technically he could have walked around anyway. I mean, it would have scared
Well,
everybody, but could have walked around.
Yes, but we were also worried that being considered a corpse, the city might try to, remove him in case of diseases or whatever,
True.
as it
But
threatened to do.
don't think the city would have known he was there.
Well, Panikin ruminant might be seen as a sign of danger.
Oh yeah, that definitely would have done it. Well, I've got everything I need here. I will. We'll see if we can work anything out. But I mean, I wouldn't hold on to too much hope. We can normally help somebody if it's very soon after an accident, but this is a bit too far.
Well, thank you for at least giving the attempt. After seeing everyone's reaction, I was afraid we would get nowhere.
Well, if you do come by again, give us a little warning, and I'll be sure to have the more skittish nurses not in the area.
Yes, sorry about that.
Well,
I'll be sure to let you know in advance next time.
anyway, well, be sure to return in 30 cycles for your checkup.
All right, thank you.
Right.
And with that, I guess I'll leave.
You head out.
You helped after causing several amounts of chaos. Are you
Look,
sure you aren't working for the Unspoken?
Look, sometimes you need to shake the hornet's nest a little bit to get results.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to walk into a bear's cave, grab your knife, and poke it in the nose with a sharp end.
Yeah.
We are such an incompetent group.
I mean,
with actually my experience, the incompetent groups are the most fun to play with.
Yeah, and I love it.
Well, Alexander will sigh after leaving the hospital. Well, that was at least a step in a direction. Hopefully the right one.
we shall see what happens. I will not hold my breath.
Well, I mean, you could probably hold your breath for a very long time, so he says with a little bit of a smile.
I technically don't need to breathe.
Yeah, yes, that's the joke.
I see. Sadly, he's not his normal chipper self.
Yeah. Alexandrite will just put a comforting hoof on him.
It definitely feels a bit squidgy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know, but it's still there for his sake.
Yeah, I know. Just letting you know. So you guys head back to your dorm rooms for the time being. Anybody else want to torture any more ruminant?
No, I think the poor things have been scared enough today already.
So So I actually grab a ruminant and I like torture them for information.
No, actually, what I would do is like, uh, I'd just get like a harmless garden snake, set it in the office, hear the screams, grin evilly.
Oh god, that's evil. That is evil.
I'm an evil son of a bitch. But yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I'm not gonna torture any ruminant.
Oh, good. I don't have to get you killed via automatons.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
They're good beans. They're good beans.
Alexander is actually curious if his danger level went up after that situation.
Yes.
Okay.
It did.
What's his danger level now?
It's back at 9.
Okay. Well, still probably worth it, in my opinion.
That was unfortunate.
Mhm.
What a series of unfortunate events.
All right. Does anybody else want to do anything out of the ordinary? That's not your normal current routine.
Well, given the fact that there is a theater here, Bernd is gonna have to wait until the others are available to speak with them, because, like, I know what I have planned, but at the same time, it's like, I'm not going through with this on my own. I've done this before in other games, and it always turns out bad.
Yeah, are you thinking
What-
of putting on a play?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I'm gonna leave early. It's just reached to a point I'm about to pass out.
All right, you have a good one.
Well, I was
Yeah,
going
you
to say
too.
this
Take
probably
care
be a
of
good
yourself.
Yeah,
moment
thanks.
for us to stop. Anyway,
Oh,
um,
All right.
and it will give you guys a chance to think about if there's anything else you want to try. If not, we will kind of go a little bit forward to the next sort of event, which could spark interesting things, or start you down alternative paths. But there's a number of things to think about as you learn a fair bit more and started to think about interesting things you can do with your current situation.
Yeah, this does seem like a thing that we all need to discuss outside a game.
Yeah, sort of get an
Yeah.
idea of, because there's lots of little bits of breadcrumbs where if you start putting them together, you actually might come up with a plan. But
Mhm.
I don't think you've all picked up on the small breadcrumbs yet.
As the player, I'm too stupid to know certain breadcrumbs. In fact, I'm
I
too
mean,
dumb to
like-
even know toast.
I mean, actually, one of our breadcrumbs is that the ships are visible. We can see it. It's not accessible.
Yeah.
And another one is this the teleporter, which is crappy made but still possible. And we have like other things we can also use to our
Yeah.
advantage. So
Like,
Yeah.
I know we have the manufactorum that might be able to purify the heart. Might,
Yeah,
being
that too.
the operational word.
Yeah, I'm hoping to.
it would be like. Go ahead.
I'm hoping Milk Thistle can learn how the manufactorum works. If it is the anvil, then maybe we can reuse it, or long term strip the technology guts out of it and try to restore it.
Mhm.
The second one might be beyond your understanding, but the first
Yeah.
one is entirely up for possibilities. You do have Swift Gadget off screen, also putting her nose into it for you as well.
Yep.
And then there's team 2 that we don't even know about what they're doing.
Yeah.
They could also be looking for ways to do stuff.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Do y'all think that's something worthwhile for Milk Thistle to do?
Yeah, I think it is.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think don't know if you're gonna succeed in it, but it's worth a try.
Yeah, I
I-
mean, we don't know if any of our plans are going to succeed, but throw
Yeah.
enough darts at the wall, we'll hit something.
Yeah.
You probably could get a very rudimentary understanding enough to throw shit at a wall and see what sticks type of situation. You wouldn't get enough understanding to pass the test in a short space of time, but enough to to run in and Hail Mary at it. You probably could you could do it with a bit of Swift
Yeah.
Gadget's help. But yeah, so that's a possibility.
Yeah. My question on the Hail Mary thing is, how well guarded is the Manufactorum?
You do not know because you've not
Yeah, that's-
attempted to gain
That's the
entry.
biggest thing.
There is also a possible underground base too. We could also check out as well.
Yeah, but walking in there is like
If-
walking into.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
A
if we don't
bear's
get caught in the process,
I-
yeah, I know.
well, I'll point out a few
Yeah.
very big things that I think you guys might be overlooking. One, at certain points the computer runs a maintenance cycle on itself where it's not watching.
Mm-hmm.
Two, it can't
Yeah,
track
that's
where
it.
Katerina is because it's asking for the tracker to be installed.
Mm-hmm.
Those two I'm
And
giving you.
oh, yeah, and if we have the external battery, we could possibly fool it and have Katerina move around free.
Alright, so.
And
No worries.
and actually, when we actually try to like sneak into places, we can like do it at the cycle.
Yeah. So it was what, a short time frame or a decently length time frame
Which
for
one?
the cycle?
Oh, you mean for it doing its maintenance cycle?
Yes.
It's a short time frame, but you might be able to get some stuff in. You couldn't get anything too long-winded, but something what needs to be done quick could be done.
Yeah, like if
Uh,
we need to do a quick steal or something, we can do that. Like,
I'm gonna head out. I'll see you next week, guys.
Yep.
Yeah, see
no.
you guys later. We do
See you
need to
next
sit
week.
down, talk outside game. It's like, we have
Yeah.
planning.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
I-
a lot of planning to do about
yeah,
this.
I think we're doing pretty well considering our situation.
Yeah, but still, we want to have plans for all possibilities.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I will catch you later, everyone.
Yeah,
Alright,
have a good one.
good rest of
Later,
the day,
man.
Seal.
All right. Goodbye,
Yeah.
everyone.
Goodbye. Everyone already left.
Well, no,
Yeah.
we have our one viewer still, so thank you for staying to the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah, yes. Thank you. All right. Have a good one.
See yous.